The turbulent journey to internalise Macquarie Airport's management concluded today. Shareholders voted in favour of keeping the existing executive team and agreed to pay a $345 million fee to Macquarie Group to achieve independence from the millionaire's factory. Desley Coleman has the story.
Macquarie Group is used to winning, and today was no exception. Investors backed the existing management of Macquarie Airports and agreed to pay Macquarie Group $345 million to separate.
I think it is good that it has come through. When you can do the job, why give it to others?
I guess I'm just a bit concerned about the price that we appear to be paying Macquarie to take over that role.
That concern was shared by rival management group Global Airports, headed by Mike Fitzpatrick. Global Airports staged a last-minute campaign in the federal court to delay today's meeting, but that fell over last night. Scott Fraser is a MAP shareholder and a former executive of the Federal Airports Corporation. Worried about the lack of detail in MAP separation documents, he teamed up with Mike Fitzpatrick's Global Airports in the courts.
I think somebody had to stand up and say, well, yeah, this explanatory memorandum is flawed because it's not providing sufficient information for anybody to make a proper and valued judgment on the costs.
Shareholder activist Stephen Main says that investors will benefit once MAP's fee flow to Macquarie Group is stemmed, but paying $345 million to achieve that is too much.
It's an outrageous fee heist from Macquarie Airports, but because Macquarie Bank had the airport fund so tied up in knots and so locked in, the airport shareholders had no choice but to pay the money. I mean, it will go down in history as one of the most ridiculous, excessive divorce settlements we've ever seen.
Retail investors don't appear as concerned with the high price separation.
On balance, they've seen an opportunity to get rid of Macquarie, and that's been a much more important consideration for them.
Corporate governance advisory group Risk Metrics says the costs do seem on the high side, but it agrees there are some holes in the MAP disclosure details.
We assessed that there was an unacceptable risk that was associated with the removal of Macquarie triggering the change of control events in the loan documentation for Brussels and Copenhagen airports. We were troubled by the possibility of the banks being able to increase the interest costs for Macquarie Airport's shareholders.
In the meeting, Chairman of the Independent Board of MAP, Trevor Gerber, said, "I am utterly assured the arrangements that we are undertaking to avoid triggering change of control are effective." While the majority of investors supported today's resolutions, nearly a quarter of all votes cast were against the deal. Dean Patch says that should send a clear signal to the other Macquarie Group satellites also planning to break the management mould.
Macquarie Infrastructure Group directors are considering an internalisation proposal. That should draw their attention to the fact that there is a large cohort of investors who are unconvinced that Macquarie ought to be paid anything for their removal as manager, given that they've been underperforming, when they can be simply removed by a shareholder vote.
But only time will tell if the $345 million price tag for freedom is worth it.